What's up, guys? It's Maxflow here. We're outside of the Browns Stadium, aka the Dog Pound. Got my assistant Caesar here watching me out. We're gonna go over the downward facing dog today, some benefits, some modifications. It's a staple asana, aka pose, in any Vinyasa series. It's also a great active resting pose if you're working out, doing CrossFit, any cross training, and just looking to look for a good, transition exercise that's going to keep your heart rate up and keep you in the fire. So we're going to break down the downward facing dog, and usually a downward facing dog, you'll enter it from child's pose. So every time, usually say this is my mat, start out knees wide to the outer edge of the mat, sitting back on your heels, and then from there you just reach forward. Nice downward facing for a little child's pose. Take a few breaths there and then come on your hands and knees. Shoulders rooted right over the wrists. You just take a couple cat-cows to warm up the spine. So we're just going to drop the belly and gaze up. Inhale, cow. Exhale, tuck the chin, curl the back spine. One more time, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time, with your breath in. Exhale it all the way out. You just find yourself a neutral spine, then just extend your left leg straight back, start pressing through that heel, really engaging this quad. Nice strong core, shoulders rooted right over the wrists. From there we can extend our right leg back. We got this nice high plank. And from there, it's our high plank. We can just start lifting our hips up and back to this downward facing dog. Pressing our tailbone up to the sky as much as we can. Really getting that roundness out of our back so we decompress our spine. And that's our downward facing dog. Now some alignment cues for our downward facing dog. We want our hands to be shoulder width apart. So whenever we come to that all fours position, nice and rooted, or if we're in a table, to a high plank, nice and rooted still. If you're transitioning from that child's pose, here, bring your hands in, shoulder width apart, nice and rooted, everything's flat, fingertips are rooted, knuckles of your hands are rooted. And from there, you just extend your legs straight back. This is your length. The normal width for a solid downward facing dog is the high plank width from your hands to your feet. And there you can just shift your hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. You can inhale and shift forward to your high plank. You shouldn't have to move your hands or your feet, so that's how you know you have, at least a solid foundation in your alignment. You don't want your downward facing dog to be really short. I know it might feel a little bit easier if you have tighter quads and tighter hamstrings. In that case, just find your high plank and just keep your knees slightly bended as you reach your tailbone up to the sky. And that'll help you get that decompression out of your spine. You can still get all the benefits of that downward facing dog, and then you can slowly start to work your legs straight. And if that's still a little intense, you can just come from that child's pose and then just reach your hips forward so your hips are stacked over your knees now. You can bring your feet hip width apart and then just start reaching as far forward as possible. Tailbone's pressing up and back, still getting that decompression like I'm in the downward facing dog, but this is a little bit different. It's like a puppy stretch, a little puppy down dog. So you still get that decompression. And then you can really work to press your chest through your arms instead of getting that roundness on your back. So we don't want that roundness, so come to our high plank, tailbone up and back. Might feel a little crack in your back if you really get a good decompression. Chest keeps pressing through the arms, through the legs. Hands are nice and flat. It's alright if your heels don't touch the floor. Even sometimes, it's better to get a little bit more length in your down dog, so my heels aren't touching, but I still get that length. Soften the front ribs. Belly pulls up and in. That's a good little downward facing dog. Modifications, of course, drop the knees, or just bend the knees, keep pressing the tailbone up and back, feet hip width apart, hands hip width apart, and then that downward facing dog, transition to high plank, then you can transition to low plank, upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. Just keep practicing that at home. You can do that anytime, any day. My dog does it, you know, as soon as he gets up. So downward facing dog, upward facing dog, the more you do it, the more flexibility you'll gain in your spine. It'll also just help to tone everything up from the arches of your feet. Your core really strengthens your back muscles. So we're in this downward facing dog, our backs, shoulder blades are coming down our back and into our spine. Nice integrity. Triceps, we want our triceps to spin under so our arms can almost go straight back to get that same tightness like the newspaper hugging in between your armpit. So your triceps spin in, it creates a nice little cupping in your armpit. Hands shoulder width apart, downward facing dog, triceps spin in, shoulder blades down back into the spine. And then you can just get a nice squeeze of your forearms, so you got energy, your forearms are squeezing together. Fingertips and knuckles of your hands are pressing into the ground. Really great workout. And then just drop to your knees, find that child's pose. And that's a downward facing dog. Thank you guys.